What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and today we're going to be talking about the future of the Knicks and why it's necessary that they lose every single game this season. The timing of this video is pretty terrible because the Knicks just came off of their best win of the season versus the Rockets. This win was so amazing because RJ Barrett dominated the game from start to finish and came through with a crucial layup late in the game. Mitch was also able to play great versus the small Rockets lineup, and most importantly, Kevin Knox looks so much better than before. Not only did the Knicks have an incredible win yesterday, but Leon Rose officially joined the Knicks where a lot of changes are going to be made. He hasn't had a press conference yet because he wants to evaluate everything, connect with everyone in the organization, and come up with a plan moving forward before he says anything to the media. I know this doesn't seem like much, but this gave me so much hope for the future. Leon Rose showed he has patience, and this is one thing that will be necessary in rebuilding the Knicks. He also put out a statement to season ticket holders saying, "Nothing about this is easy or quick, so I ask for your continued patience. What I promise you in return is that I will be honest and forthright. We will develop a plan that makes sense both to jumpstart our short-term growth and ensure long-term success." This statement is perfect and exactly what we need to do, but then again, Steve Mills also said this, and we all know how that turned out. It's kind of obvious by now that Mike Miller's time with the Knicks as a coach is over after Steve Stout spoiled it on First Take, and multiple reports have come out saying that the Knicks want to keep Mike Miller in the Knicks organization, but not as a coach. One name that has been correlated with the Knicks is Tom Thibodeau because he has a strong relationship with Leon Rose. These rumors have picked up quickly, and some people have even said that he's the 90% favorite to take the job. This seems like a terrible idea because the Knicks need to develop their young guys, and Tom Thibodeau is one of the worst developmental coaches in the entire NBA. During his time in Minnesota, Cat came out and said that Thibs' player development was a slap in the face. He later said that he wasn't a fan of how Thibs was a complete asshole to the young players, and he felt that he didn't make the Wolves' young players improve. As bad as this seems, Mike Miller isn't a much better developmental coach, but he isn't a dick at least. Finally, today Spike Lee went on First Take after being yelled at by James Dolan during last night's game, which was one of the pettiest arguments I've ever seen and is way bigger than it needs to be. I get that Spike Lee is upset with Dolan since he's the worst owner in the NBA and is extremely rude, but this is the last thing the Knicks need. We had an incredible win last night, but all that's being overshadowed by how terribly the Knicks treated Spike Lee, all over a miscommunication about entering the stadium. Once the so-called Knicks fan Stephen A. Smith and the ex-Knicks fan Max Kellerman found a way to get Spike Lee on the air to trash the Knicks, they knew they had to because everyone likes when people hate on the Knicks. It gets views. Spike Lee should have honestly addressed it on his own because he's been a Knicks fan for over 30 years and should know that this does nothing good for the franchise or organization as a whole. We have upcoming free agents like Donovan Mitchell saying, "That's crazy, yo," about the whole situation, and the Brooklyn Nets are posting a picture of KD and Spike Lee together. This is by far the worst part because now the Nets and Spike Lee are both milking the situation that is so minor. I'm kind of pissed off at Spike right now, but I get completely where he's coming from because he spends over $300,000 on Knicks tickets every season, and he's such a passionate fan, so it's really hard to be mad at him. But if he goes to a Nets game in all Nets gear, then you're gonna see a whole different side of me. Now with that out of the way, let's get right into why the Knicks must try to lose every single game. Number 1, draft odds. This is by far the most obvious reason the Knicks need to lose, but getting better draft odds are crucial. The Knicks are currently sitting with the 5th best draft odds, but in all reality this can fluctuate so much as they are 2 games behind the 2nd best draft odds and 2 games in front of the 7th best draft odds. The 2nd best draft odds would give the Knicks a 52.1% chance to get a top 4 pick, and the 7th best draft odds would give the Knicks a 32% chance at a top 4 pick. Now everyone always says that the draft odds don't matter that much because the Grizzlies, Pelicans, and Lakers all moved up into the top 4, but that draft lottery was an incredibly rare situation. 20% is a huge difference, and knowing the Knicks' luck, they need every extra ping pong ball that they can get their hands on. On top of this, and maybe more important, the highest pick you can get with the 2nd best odds is the 6th pick, and the highest pick you can get with the 7th best odds is the 11th pick. The difference between these picks are huge, especially in this specific NBA draft. The 2020 NBA draft is already not the strongest draft class, but there are still a couple players that could be franchise players. The draft also has a major cliff this year, and once LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Cole Anthony, Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin, Denny Advidja, Onyeka Okongwu, and James Wiseman are all off the board, the Knicks are kind of screwed. There are other options obviously like Nico Mannion and Tyrese Halliburton, but getting one of these players with their own first round pick would be a disaster. The Knicks need to begin to try to lose for these reasons, and one reason they need to try even more is because we have one of the easier strengths of schedule in the entire NBA. Currently we are sitting with the 6th or 7th easiest schedule, and teams like the Pistons, Warriors, and Hornets all have very hard schedules, which will make losing for them so much easier. Number 2, player development. As the Knicks continue to lose, hopefully they will begin to actually develop their young players. The majority of the players on the Knicks roster are rentals and have no long-term value, but for some reason they're the ones playing the most. This is very frustrating, especially when Mitch, RJ, and Frank don't get as much opportunity as they should because the veterans are ball hogs and they just don't even play. Like against the Rockets, Mitch only played 24 minutes, but he had 12 points and 13 rebounds. RJ even came out and said that he understands the game with Frank and feels good with him on the court. RJ also reposted Frank saying that he feels good with him on the court, which is basically RJ implying to the Knicks front office and everyone around the Knicks, please bench Alfred because he doesn't pass the ball whatsoever and start Frank. All of the Knicks young players should be playing, but on top of this, Ignas and Lamar Peters should be brought up to the NBA. Mike Miller doesn't like this idea and thinks playing minutes in the G League will be better for them than actually playing in the NBA, which is flat out stupid. He was the Knicks' former G League coach and he must have some bias there, but he should know how big in-game minutes mean for young players' development. The only way that these guys can be pulled up into NBA action is if the Knicks continue to lose games and someone else like Scott Perry or Leon Rose decide to override Mike Miller's decision of keeping them in the G League. Number 3, James Dolan. The more we continue to lose games, the more James Dolan is going to be questioned about selling the team. It seems like it will never happen, but each time his name gets slandered, he does something to fix it. We saw it after the Knicks crowd chanted "sell the team" and then Steve Mills was fired. So if he gets slandered hard for the next few weeks while we're still losing and people don't even show up to games, the chances of him selling the team increases a lot. That is one reason the Spike Lee situation may be good for the Knicks in the long run, but it was a publicity stunt on his part, basically trashing the Knicks. I know that's the last thing he wanted to do, but that's how it was interpreted, so thanks Spike. Overall, it's very obvious that the Knicks need to lose every single upcoming game because this will significantly help our future success if we do so. This season is already in the garbage, and at this point we need to accept it and look forward. Tell me what you guys thought about this video, and I do want to post more, so I think I might just do a video each week on updates or something kind of similar to the beginning of each video. If you guys want to see that, comment down below, and with that said, I'm out and peace!